Welcome to Heartglow CEO, where high achievers evolve into purpose-driven powerhouses. I'm Casey Rossi, your integrative leadership coach. Join us to break free from people-pleasing and burnout, exploring mindset, embodiment, and soul alignment. Discover expert insights, success stories, and actionable tips for holistic wealth on your terms. This is where transformation meets the modern female leader. Let's go. Good morning, beautiful. Today I wanted to talk about how to stop the status quo and unleash your brilliant potential today. Because one thing I know for sure is that you do have a flame inside of you. It may feel deep, it may feel buried and dampened at the moment, but I guarantee that it's in there. It's in there waiting to be attended to. That flame is ready to be fanned so you can experience that warmth, that brilliance, that radiant potential that I know you have. Now, outside circumstances shape you. Societal pressures, family expectations, environmental and economic factors, the list can go on. These things influence how you think and act. It is your conditioning. You train your mind to think in certain ways. And this is sometimes conscious and many times unconscious. And over time, this conditioning starts to shape your behaviors, and you begin to accept it as normal. But here's the thing. You are what you repeatedly do. Your conditioning becomes you, your thoughts, your habits, your behaviors. Now, is that a good thing? You tell me. If you pause for a moment and tune in, how many of your habitual thoughts and behaviors truly serve you? Not sure? Take a look at your physical reality. It'll show you the operating system that you've been running on day after day. Ask yourself, am I happy? Do I feel like I can be authentic in both my personal and professional life? Do I feel comfortable in my body? Do I respond calmly and confidently in most situations? Your honest answers will help you determine if your conditioning is supporting you or if it's holding you back. But here's the good news. Awareness is the very first step towards any change. Once you identify what's causing discomfort, you can start to peel back the layers and uncover the deeper root causes. And here's the thing, it is a little bit of work. It doesn't just magically appear. We can be aware of something and then just kind of blah, blah, blah our way through life. We all get there. And sometimes there's like peaks and valleys where you may just be in a little bit of a valley right now, where it's like, oh man, I'm not ready for the work. And that's okay too. Like, I really want to encourage you to respect your bandwidth, but then also as your coach, push you a little bit as well. You may be in a season where you have just started to get into a rut, or this has maybe been going on for a while where you just coast. And so for you, I really want to encourage you to think differently. Now, when I work with clients, they complete both a life and leadership wheel, rating their current satisfaction in various categories on a scale of 1 to 10. Often, the wheels come back a bit lopsided. Maybe they are at a 9 in productivity, but a 4 in health and wellness, or a 7 in high vibe relationships, but a 3 in time management. I ask them to imagine these wheels as bicycle tires. How smooth or bumpy would the ride be? This visual helps pinpoint areas that need more balance. So why is this important for you? Because Abraham Maslow said, what one can be, one must be. This is one of my favorite quotes. In fact, on my Thrive Planner that I have on my little clipboard every day, I have that on the bottom so I can be reminded to push myself out of my comfort zone, which isn't easy, especially as a Taurus. I can tend to be stagnant. I can tend to fall into a comfort zone. I can tend to just be super comfortable in my routine. Can you relate? But this quote, what one can be, one must be. It's a powerful reminder to keep your big hopes and dreams front and center. Conditioning often trains us to go with the flow and stick to the status quo. The problem? We rarely challenge ourselves. Getting by becomes the goal, and just keeping our heads above water feels like the win. I don't know about you, but I know I want more than that. To reach for more, we first have to remember who we are destined to be. And this is so interesting. Like, I started thinking, I'm going to pop that on my stories. I really like that. That kind of came about when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today. And I thought, yeah, it is really a remembering of who we're destined to be. And then there was a part of me that was like, that's not enough to just remember, because then we have to go be it. We have to go do it. Just staying in our minds, getting inspiration, whether it's from this podcast or something that's bubbled up in your own self, is not enough, because it just stays right within your sealed container. And if you think of a lantern, if that lantern was like super brilliant, but somebody put like a black covering over it, like those catering food covers, right? You would have no idea what is under that buffet veil, if you will. So this is the thing. Just having that recognition and keeping it to yourself in a dark silo is really doing you, the world, and those around you a huge disservice. And I know, because you're listening to that you're not going to tolerate that. And so part of this is remembering who you are destined to be and go be it. Go do it. The action part is the other very crucial side of the coin. When you unlid, when you uncork, then you can feel the warmth. You can feel the brilliance. You have that experience of being the light in the world. And last night I did an ecstatic dance class, and it was in a yurt. It was so beautiful. I think there's something really magical about those spaces and round buildings and no electric. And there was a fire in the wood stove. There was a sweet little altar with fresh dahlias and different symbols of our elements. So a bowl of water, and there was the earth element. There was feathers to symbolize the wind element, and of course the strong candle in the center for the fire element, and spirit in the middle. And it was just so beautiful to stop. And I almost didn't go because I had a tiring day. It was Monday, and I just thought, even though I registered, I don't know if I want to go. And then something inside me, right? Like, just to pause for that minute and override the mind. I was like, you know what? I know I'm going to feel better when I go. And so I did. And the part that I want to connect to is the action piece. The action piece of pushing ourselves out of the comfort zone, being in an environment that's like, oh man, like you've got to drop the ego, drop the mask, and truly tune in and allow yourself to express and to really experience all that's within you. And many times I think when we're in an environment where we've stripped away some of the busyness, noisiness, and all of the distractions that we are really bombarded with. I don't know about you, but I feel sometimes assaulted by the fragrances in environments, the bright fluorescent lights when I go somewhere, the like loud, obnoxious background music just because, And so for me, it's super helpful when I can silence those noises. And yesterday, just being in that very sweet, insulated, dark yurt and just having the glow of the wood stove and a candle be what illuminated our space. There was something very magical about that, and allowed me to tap in and see what's in there, see what I had been penting up, tension in my shoulders, tightness in my low spine from being humped over a computer for many, many hours. All of those pieces that they become the status quo, and that becomes our normal. And until we start to break it apart, until we start to move our body and stretch in ways where we're like, oh, I actually do have a lot of tightness there. I didn't know that. Because even the way we hold our physical body is a conditioning. We may be leaning forward. You may be starting to see a little hump on the back of your neck, that tech neck, right? From just kind of bending over a device all of the time. And so it's just this opportunity to remember who we're destined to be and then to go and be that person. This may take some self-reflection, meditation, visualization, or any other practice that helps you tap into your inner wisdom. For me, like I said, it's essential to silence the noise and slow down and tune in. What about you? What practice helps you tune into your true self? Once you determine that, create the space for it. Be committed to creating the space for it. The space to listen, to learn, and to understand what your soul wants for you. Maybe it's journaling in the morning where you capture deep insights. Maybe it's a walk in nature where the trees whisper profound truths to you. Or maybe it's a quiet meditation that brings peace and inner knowing. Whatever it is, these practices will help you shape a new reality, one that aligns with who you are destined to be. But remember, knowing isn't enough. Real transformation takes work. We're well-oiled machines, conditioned to follow familiar paths. But to break through, to live the life that you're destined for, you have to do things differently. And let's be real, different doesn't always feel good. It's unfamiliar, and that brings up the what ifs and the fears of outcomes. But it is not impossible. By focusing on the who you want to become, you start to think differently, and those new thoughts naturally lead to actions that support your true self. That's really profound. It may sound very, very simple, but this is actually research-backed science. New thoughts naturally lead to actions that support your true self. As you think, so you become is a popular quote that illustrates this point perfectly. So, my friend, who are you destined to be? What thoughts will help shape your reality? And what simple action can you take today to support your new identity? I would love to hear it, so reach out to me, drop me a DM. I'm so curious. I love personal development. I really feel like such a forever learner when it comes to human potential. So when I say I'd love to hear from you, I would truly love to hear from you. Who are you destined to be? What thoughts will help you shape your reality? What simple action can you take today to support your new identity? Let me know. Let this be your official invitation to tune in, dream big, and step out. Your soul will thank you. Until next week, my friend, breathe joy. And as always, I would love it if you could drop a rating or review at lovethepodcast.com/brilliance. Thank you.